All right, this is a critique for Léo Violet. Um, the first and foremost thing, I think you were asking about your rendering technique, and I think the first and foremost thing that you have issues with is the anatomy. Um, the problem with your anatomy is, let me just do a draw over here real quick. So the problem with your anatomy is you're trying to do a diagonal pose, which is like so, and then if you look at the knees, and then if you look at the way the hip is, this is arched, so that's actually feels like it's coming up, and then you've got the breasts coming like this, and then the shoulders coming down. So the big issue, you really don't have that perspective going on in there. Um, what I would say for fixing your perspective is if you're going to do this, get your knee um, and all of those particular poses like so going on, get that perspective going on. So in this case, what I would say is, oops. So in this case, what I would say is if you're going to fix your this pose here, I'm just going to really quickly transform this. So if you're posing this here, you can see simply by putting this a little bit further down, you're now building up that a little bit better. And then what I would do is your body, I would, if I can get right there, um, your body would be angled much more like that. So that's the first thing that I see, with that aspect of your particular torso. The second thing is the pose is really weird. And the reason the pose is really weird is because um, looking at this, what I would say is you're trying to reach back, and the problem with reaching back like this is you're actually bending your arm outward. So what that means is, and this is the way I would do a body pose. So you've got your figure, you've got your waist. I'm just going to draw down like this. Okay, so if you want to twist this a little bit, um, twisting is going to make it a little bit more dynamic. So if you twist the torso a little bit more, that actually shows a little bit more of this arm, and you can actually bring out that arm. And then the problem is you're bringing this straight out and then down. So get some photo reference of that, and that would be the biggest thing right there. Um, and then don't cover the head so much. If you're going to cover the head, I would only cover it about 3/4. I think the head needs to be a little bit bigger too as far as proportions go. Um, so I would cover just enough so the eyes come out like that, and I think that's a good aspect of what you need. As far as rendering goes, I think you're on the right track. The big thing is get that anatomy down. The second thing is stay away from your blacks. And so what I mean by that is, like, if you look here, this is the desaturated side, this is the saturated side. So just by taking random shots, you can see that all of your tones are in that black range. So instead, if you take your browns and go with more desaturated color, you'll still get those dark browns and stuff like that in there, but it won't look so dark and so flat. Um, so as you can see, just by coloring in, and you can go a little bit darker, but don't, you still want that little bit of color in there. Um, and I think that's going to help you out quite a bit. The other aspect you can do is you can actually grab a unifying color and say like this blue, and add blue in your shadows, go even a little bit darker, add your blues in your shadows, and that'll actually um, help you out and unify the overall tone a little bit. It'll make it so it's not so randomized. And so get a little bit more color into your shadows. And then the other thing is materials. You've got this highlights here on your um, on your leather jacket, and the problem with the highlights on the leather jacket is it's fine, but then you don't have enough highlights on everything else. And it doesn't necessarily mean, so if you've got this blue light here, I'm just gonna kind of go up here, but if you've got this blue light here, like so, it's going to have a blue light pretty much everywhere. So you want to maintain that aspect of, where is this light coming from? What I would suggest right off the bat is take your uh, take a pose of this character. Um, and it's a simple, dress yourself up, get a pair of boots, things like that, and take a quick snapshot in the pose you want, and that's going to solve a lot of your anatomy issues and give you a lot of reference for lighting and stuff. So those are the things that I would kind of look at to kind of fix your drawing up. All right, I hope that helps.